Hello there, and welcome to The High Ground, a Doof bonus content show where we're bringing life back into the Lost World franchise. I'm your Tyrannosaurus host, Reuben Morehouse.
I'm your Velociraptor host, Elliot Diebold.
And I'm your Compsognathus host, Georgia Diebold.
Which one's that?
They're the little ones that are in this movie, the little green ones.
That eat the little girl.
Oh, the little seagull piranha velociraptors.
Yeah. We called them little bastards as kids, and I still call them that in my head.
So an interesting decision for them to pivot into changing the series from Jurassic Park to The Lost World and making the subtitle of this one Jurassic Park.
It's already really bugging me because now, like, when I post this episode, is it going to be just The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World? This is really
there's
annoying.
No 2. There's no 2 in the title, Elliot. It's The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, not Jurassic Park, The Lost World. It's
make
weird.
Any sense. Good times.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I think I'm just going to say Jurassic Park 2 in the title, and
all right,
pedants can hate me.
Fair enough.
I really liked this movie though. Like I think Georgia called this last month, but I like this one better than the first one by a lot.
That's interesting to me. What is it about it that you liked better?
I thought the action and like suspense stuff was a lot better, and also spread out better in the movie. Like, this movie has multiple rises and falls as opposed to the last one, which is just like a totally different movie, and then it flicks into like horror suspense.
Yeah.
And I actually think that made me more invested in how the like ethical, thematical stuff that was woven in kind of turned out. Because I don't know, like the Jurassic Park one, I think the thing that gets me is it's like it's all good, and then it just all falls apart, and like the tornado kind of does most of that, and it just doesn't like land for me the same way that this one sort of does with the back and forth stuff, I guess, a bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you that the action in this movie is better. That the fucking 20 minutes or so where they're in the trailer dangling over the cliff, I think is great. I absolutely loved it, that whole scene. But also, this movie really does lose the thread a bit, doesn't it?
There's some real silliness, and yeah, the ending is just
it's wild.
Like it's so random.
I
don't hate it.
Yeah,
but it's a bit weird.
No, I don't know.
It feels like an extra movie tacked up. Like I forgot it happened. Like they were getting off the island, and I was like, "Oh, what a good movie!"
Yeah,
and then they started into San Diego, and like that whole segment of the movie like re-entered my brain because I hadn't watched this since I was like 10. And I was like, oh, fuck, there's like another 45 minutes. Like,
I think it's almost like a really long after credits scene that is not after the credits. But also once you get to the end of that, it ties in nicely, I think is why it works. It's like when you're in San Diego, you're like, what the fuck? Like, but then by the end of that, you're like, oh, no, I see how that actually carried over from like thematically, it actually fits into the movie very well. So
yeah.
But I remember thinking the same thing watching The Dark Knight when I saw that in cinemas, like in 2008 or whatever the fuck it was. Like, I didn't know it was a super long movie, so I remember like sitting in the film and they captured the Joker, and I was like, "Oh, this must be the end." It's been about 90 minutes, and then like the Joker escapes, and I kept being like, "Oh, it's just going to be like 5 minutes until we wrap up the end," and then much like Pale, to my surprise, it just went for like another year.
I actually just rewatched that on the plane, and I know exactly what you mean. Like I actually looked at the runtime. I can't remember, like to do with the flight time, I think, and I was like, oh, shit, this movie's really long. And I was like, I forgot the whole. And like when Harvey Dent came on, I was like, yeah, there's like a whole second movie where he becomes bad. Like it's like he's good for like a whole movie, and then the movie just keeps going for him to deteriorate into a baddie. And I was like, oh,
and especially like when The Dark Knight came out 2008, I'm fresh off the heels of watching things like The Matrix Reloaded and Pirates of the Caribbean 2. It was very well established that a second movie could just not finish and set up for a third, and so that's what I kept thinking The Dark Knight was doing, and it just went for like a whole hour where I was like, it's about to end though, right? Like,
yeah, it does kind of. I rewatched that movie maybe like 6 months ago. and you're right. It does kind of feel like if it was made today's day and age, it would be a part 1 and a part 2 kind
Yeah.
of deal.
But
Anyway,
yeah, it
we're
was
not,
like
we're not talking about Dark Knight here.
But like, I guess the Lost World kind of feels the same. Where it really does feel you're like, oh, I'm at the end of the movie. They've escaped the island. It felt like about 90 minutes, and I think it was. And then and then there's just an extra 45 minutes, and it kind of catches you completely off guard.
I don't think it was 45 minutes, so it was actually shorter than I remembered. I think it was only about maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
But it's definitely I agree. It wasn't like bad. Like there was nothing about it, that segment. Although that one scene where the kid is telling his parents there's a T-Rex in the backyard, maybe it was bad.
I know. I love that scene. That's so good.
I'm undecided, so we don't have a quorum there.
But it really did just feel like it's completely like it just was. 90 minutes is fine for a movie, guys. You don't need to add an extra 25 minutes at the end.
Yeah, but I'm torn on it because it feels really jarring, and I agree with you. I think the actual scene itself is kind of dumb, like how. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go into it more depth at the time, but like the scene itself is kind of dumb, but I feel like it concluded the movie at the same time. Like you would have to have, or you'd have to have something else to replace it as a conclusion. Like you can't just have them fly off on the chopper. Like you'd have to have some other kind of conclusion to the film if you didn't have that, because it really tied up things.
Yeah,
like in terms of the message of the movie.
Yeah, because like essentially, we'll get into it in a bit, but like something that is big in this movie is that there was like a cover up, and that InGen isn't admitting that the dinosaurs are real, and then their plan is to kind of rejig that whole thing and come out with it. So like what did sort of need to happen from a storytelling perspective was some sort of thing where they get exposed and it blows up in their face, and that's bad. And
but that like, didn't need this 25-minute sequence.
No,
that could just be, the investors has leaked the chat or something. You know what I mean?
I think it was just Michael.
They could
Michael
have chosen
Crichton
something
wanted to
that
do
was
it.
less silly.
Yeah. I think it was just the thing, like in the book, it probably made a ton of sense. Like structurally, you don't tend to be as sensitive to this sort of pacing thing in a book. So probably like really made sense in the book. And then just in the movie, that like I almost assumed the writers' room was sitting down. And they're like, "Oh, this San Diego stuff is so good, though. We have to keep it in there. Like, we can't just
we have to put the T-Rex in San Diego."
I mean, they
good.
did.
You do. It's very good.
It's my favorite part of the film. I think like it's weird because it feels like the weird add-on, not quite part of the film, but it is also like it's a really refreshing extension because everything else so far has been dinosaurs in like ruins and stuff. The T-Rex just being in a city is such a different vibe, and that's really fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk through the movie, shall we? And we can get to the San Diego bit at the end. Anyway, so some people are vacationing on a chill island when their daughter is attacked by dino seagulls. And what happens to her? We find out later that the lawyer guy was like,
John
"Oh, she
Hammond
was fine."
is very adamant that she's fine. He says she's fine, she's fine, she's fine, she's fine. Almost too many times that made me think
she's dead, right? She died.
She's horribly scarred at the very least.
They spared no expense on her care, you guys.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Jurassic Park is known for sparing no expense.
But like, she's gotta have scars at least, little bite marks all over her.
Yeah,
anyway.
I love these little bastards, as you call them. They're just kind of like dino piranhas. It's really fun.
I can't remember if we mentioned this last time, but I'm pretty sure we called them that from a video game that we had, like a computer game that we had of Jurassic Park. And I remember there was a level where they just always pwned you.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I'm pretty sure, where we started calling them little bastards.
I forgot about that.
Because we were just really cute kids. That was when we lived in Brown Street, because I remember playing it in that front room, which means that I was calling these things little bastards when I was less than 10 years old.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh God, I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, I the thing that really jumped out to me, because again, I don't think I've watched this film since I would have been like 10 or 12. This girl, as a kid, I was always like, why has she gone off by herself? She was asking for it, blah, blah. And I'm watching it now, and it's like, this vacation is like some rando island hopping with just her parents and a bunch of staff. Like, She seemingly has no siblings. Like, I'd pick death by dinosaurs as well. That sounds awful.
The most exciting part of her trip, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's an experience for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really had that vibe of like, because they're meant to be this really like rich, well-off family, and it does seem like the parents are kind of like snooty assholes or whatever. But this poor girl, I was just like, she just seems really lonely, and so then she meets some dinosaurs who want to eat her, and she's just happy to have friends for a bit.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they're cute. Like they're
Yeah.
Hey,
cute
what's
little pet dinos.
I don't remember the name of it. You know the horror movie where it's like the babysitter and it's like the call is coming from inside the house. She was in the remake of that, I'm pretty sure, that actress.
The little girl
okay.
actress.
I've seen that remake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
what's that
I remember-
fucking movie called again? I can't even.
I don't remember it. I just
Yeah,
know
I
it as the
know,
call from
right?
inside the house movie.
All right,
I'm
I've
gonna
got to look
Google
this
it.
up now. Yeah, the call is coming from inside the house.
The house was on a lake.
Movie.
It's that
When a
called
Stranger Calls. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
one.
Nice.
When a Stranger Calls remake. I'm pretty sure it's this girl.
I need to see that new Jordan Peele movie. Nope. Speaking of horror movies,
Hannah watched that on the plane, so I saw a bit of it
I want to see.
What did you
with
think?
no sound. But also
With
for
no
the
sound.
8 hours of my return trip, I had no sound because the headphone jack was broken. So I actually watched the second half of The Dark Knight with no sound, just subtitles. But I was like, I know what these people sound like. And then I watched the first bit of the new fucking Fantastic Beasts movie with no sound, and it was even sillier than it is with sound,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, look, there she is. I think that's her.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh yeah, that's her.
Camilla
Camilla
Bell.
Bell.
Anyway, so that's a piece of weird movie trivia for you there.
Mm.
How do I know that? Don't remember, but I do.
Clark Gregg was in
She's in
this
10,000
remake.
BC as well. I love
yeah.
10,000 BC.
Oh, and Tessa Thompson. Oh my god, I just saw a picture and it's Tessa Thompson, and she looks so young. Wow. Anyway, so what are we talking about? So yeah. When I was watching this, I was kind of like, oh, I'm really excited to find out what stupid reason they give for the dinos getting to this island. I was really excited for it to be like the dinosaurs swam to this other island, and then it was just that they had always been there. It's such a boring retcon.
It does have that like retconny vibe of like Hammond's like, yeah, but we had a secret second island we just didn't tell you guys
but
about.
that is also totally in character
it's
for
not
John Hammond. Like that.
Yeah.
That little fox. That
I mean, yeah, but
fucking idiot.
it's so boring. Like, I wish there'd have just been some dinosaurs swam over to this other island. How fun would that be?
It's very
but then
realistic.
They would have just been like, 5 miles away. Like, all right.
No, it is very realistic, but yeah, it was also just like, really? Like, that's, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I liked this opening because I thought, just like the first movie, it really set the tone. Like, it was like, this is a scary one. This is a scary one. Little children get attacked by dinosaurs in this film.
Well, in the last one, it was like the people working there dying, and then in this one, it's just random civilians, like normal people dying.
Well, they are very rich, so you don't feel too bad for them.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of money; they'll probably be fine.
Yeah, it's the investors who cop it in this movie.
Surgery. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like a bit more of a horror movie, which I think this movie is, which is fun. But so yeah, then we cut back to our main character from the first movie. You remember him, the protagonist, Ian Malcolm. And he's summoned to visit Hammond because turns out there are more dinos, and Hammond wants Malcolm to help document them so that they can't be hush-hushed. Which again is like a plot for about 10 minutes and then is forgotten about very quickly.
It quickly drops down the list of priorities. But we got to call out, and this is talked about to death on the internet, so we don't need to spend long on it. But the famous cut from the woman screaming to Malcolm yawning on the subway, as it's like the subway breaks, transition from the scream.
Dash perfectly cut screams.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I know it's been talked to death on the internet, but it's really good.
I quite like, even though the plot here, the sort of setup plot, becomes quickly forgotten. I quite like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Again, this is another one of those things where when I watched this movie as a kid, all I was able to take from it was new guy in charge, bad, violent. Good guys, good, not violent. And like watching it now, I got a
Elliot, do English good.
lot more. That's just how I thought up until about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really enjoy the like angle of like the cover up and all the internal politicking at InGen. Like I had never appreciated as a kid that this movie sets up the premise that the whole thing's been covered up and that the public doesn't know about dinosaurs yet. Like I just think that that's actually really fun. That like the idea that Malcolm is been set up to everyone thinks he's crazy now because he's ranting about dinosaurs existing.
When they even went into like surprising detail, like when he's like Malcolm is arguing with whatever that dude's name is, Hammond's nephew, and they're fully going like into like, well, you signed a non-disclosure agreement when you went
Yeah.
to that island. He's like, yeah, well, I felt like it was ethically wrong, blah blah. I was like, oh wow, there's all this detail. I don't remember any of
Yeah.
this. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just, I don't know, I was like, yeah, because that would be really easy to cover up. Like, if 3 people came off this island and they're like, man, we got eaten by dinosaurs. And then InGen was like, there's no dinosaurs, they're crazy. I do think, like, the public consensus would probably land with the
it'd
company
be
that's
hard
saying,
to believe
yeah,
there were dinosaurs.
dinosaurs aren't real. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's
yeah.
like a much better plot than you would expect from a sequel to the film Jurassic Park. Like it's
Yeah, this is a really good sequel.
yeah, it is. It's I think really underappreciated, including by myself. Like I don't remember it being this good. I actually enjoyed it more than I expected, especially because it actually builds on the ideas from the first film. Like,
Yeah.
you know, obviously we talked about it the other month, like about how the whole thing was about, don't spit in the face of nature, and humans shouldn't play God and all those things. And I think all of those same things carried over into this film, but were just explored in different ways or focused on different parts of those same ideas. And I was like, wow, that's what all sequels should be doing, but
Yeah.
usually don't.
They also tied inheritance in. There's a lot of like or parent child or uncle nephew in Hammond's case relationships that are explored in a really fun way. Well, even to the T-Rex, like there's a lot of exploration of like how we're shaped by our environment and tying that into the dinosaurs in the wild versus in captivity. Like it's just doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that the parent stuff, like, I felt this kind of in the first movie as well.
It was,
clearly
but
is trying to be like about being a good parent or like being able to enjoy children or whatever, right?
It's interesting because I feel like my take on that is more like is more that that's very much a secondary thing in this film, in that it's just to humanize the characters more than it is to actually make any kind of point or
I
explore
think it
anything.
worked better in this one than the first one, but it still felt weird to me.
Yeah, no, I think they're like I agree that it's not like the primary thing that the film's exploring, but I do think like it was mostly the T-Rex child being almost a main character that really sold to me the idea that they are really talking about like the way parents take care of their children and how that affects them.
Oh, really? Because I took that more as a thing of like humans are not like the same way that they in the first film, the Velociraptors, it was like Velociraptors are smarter than humans. Like, humans aren't as hot shit as they reckon they are. And then in this one, it's like dinosaurs are just as emotionally connected as humans are. Like, you're not as hot shit as you think you are. That was how I took it, rather than being any kind of comment onto how to parent or how.
No, it's not about how to parent. It's about the ways that parenting affects them.
I don't think I agree.
Like
Only just like
there's
about
there's
learning
a lot
to
of
accept
in this
your role as a parent, I guess.
well, and a lot of stuff, yeah, about how our environment shapes us, like I guess, including like parental stuff. I think that was woven in to a lot of this movie.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So Hammond is recruited to be a dino documentarian. It's interesting to me to think about what Sam Neill and Laura Dern are doing while Ian Malcolm is getting losing his tenure and shit. And they're just like, whatever, don't care about.
Yeah, do you reckon they just didn't say anything? Because I could feel like they would be the type who'd just be like, I just gonna go back to, my dig site or whatever, or I'm just gonna go do something else. But Malcolm is the type who he feels he's very opinionated and very like strong opinions on morals. I think he would be the type who would, like he said, he's like, I thought it was ethically wrong to keep this in the dark despite my, non-disclosure agreement. I don't think the other two would have felt the same way. That's why he's actually the protagonist.
I feel like if Alan was pushed, he doesn't strike me as the kind of character who would like straight up lie. But I do think he would just happily be like,
just stay out of it.
Yeah, I'm outie. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to forget that whole thing ever happened. That's his vibe in the next film, very much so too.
Yeah.
You know what else? I meant to mention this after the perfectly cut screen bit. But the other thing I really liked that they did there was Malcolm's on the train and he gets approached by a guy who acts almost exactly like he was in the first film. And he's super annoying. He's even chewing gum and wearing a similar sort of outfit. And it just was a really clever way of quickly showing that this Ian Malcolm is not the same one that we knew from the first film. He's been through some shit. He's having a hard time. He's matured a little bit. Yeah. He's been humbled a little bit, and he's not quite as fucking annoying, which is really important because of
he's the protagonist.
Also, because he's the protagonist. I'm like, I don't want to watch the Ian Malcolm from the first film for a whole fucking movie. But they really quickly tell you he's more chill now, guys. It's cool. You can watch this guy for a whole movie. And I think that is very true.
This was one of those things where as a kid, I always got annoyed that the second movie had Malcolm in it because he wasn't the main character. Alan was the main character. And I was like, why would you not have the main character be the main character again?
And I always just assumed in my head that it was Sam Neill was probably not available. But that's actually probably not true.
No, you're right. Watching it again as an adult, I was like, he was a great choice because a Malcolm who's kind of grown a bit more into his own and isn't just an annoying rock star dickhead, but is somebody who is actually coming from a better place now and is also struggling with this boy who cried wolf vibe of he's spouting doom and gloom about the dinosaurs and everyone's just kind of Malcolm's like that. He's like, no, but for real this time.
Yeah, but they very much keep him in character though. It is Malcolm from the first movie. He's just grown and changed. It's not like they haven't just almost retconned his character into being cool protagonist now. He's still got some of his old and annoying traits. He's just grown, which is again not something I think I've really seen much before, and it was kind of super interesting.
Yeah,
it was a good take.
Great protagonist choice.
Yeah, I really did like his vibe in this movie of he's not as much of a jerk, I guess, as in the first one, but he's very actively against everything that's going on for the entire movie. Yeah, and it's just doing, but still kind of genuinely doing his best for the people that he cares about. But okay, I'm going to go in. We're going to get these people out. Oh shit, my daughter's here. Okay, got to get her out. It just works so well. I just loved it.
Yeah, I think that's how we kept him in character too, is that he was still very much the person who was saying this is all a horrible idea, such a wet blanket, but also had really strong opinions, on what should be being done and all that. But they just toned him down so that he was actually tolerable. Because I remember sitting there watching the first film and just every thing he said, I was like, he's so fucking annoying. And it's really funny as a side character, but you couldn't have that for a whole film as your protagonist. It would be really annoying.
I also just I don't know. I love that vibe of the guy who's the naysayer or the wet blanket, but he is right, and so in this film they make
put up with it because he's right. He's 100% right,
and they make him more sympathetic. Whereas I think in the last one, it was just coming from a bit of a place of he was just oh, you can't do anything. It felt very nihilistic, I guess. And then he just kind of happened to be right. Whereas in this one, it's very much he's no, I've seen this.
That's so true. In the first film, it was all theoretical. He's just it's just you just shouldn't play God. Whereas this time he's just dinosaurs are fucking scary. This is a fucking bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. It is funny to me thinking about him. He's a mathematician. It's kind of strange. I thought it was strange at first that he was the one, the story of him being selected. But then I'm I guess if they want somebody with dino experience, he's one of a very small group of people in the world who has that.
I mean, yeah, but also his dino experience is they're going to try to eat me.
See, this is what I thought, and I know you can maybe see it written here now, and I don't know if you read it. But I actually thought about this a lot during the film. And there are multiple scenes where they actually, I think, go out of their way to demonstrate that he has like practical dino knowledge. So there's the scene where the T-Rex rocks up at the camp when they're all together and he goes, "Nobody move," because Alan Grant taught him that. And he didn't take his advice. Remember the first film? He ran off and then he got chased and he got injured. So he learns from that. And then there's a scene where he's up in the high thing with Eddie and his daughter. And then he's like, "Everything's going to be okay." And then they hear a T-Rex scream. And the first thing he does is turn off the light. And we spoke about that in the first movie. So I was like, I actually think they
he does have dino experience.
Yeah. And he's just always like the first to act. And it seems to have like a really good instinct for, you know, what the dinosaurs are going to do in a way that even the paleontologists don't. And I'm like, it's because he's been chased by a dinosaur before.
I'm not really convinced that his 24-hour experience almost getting eaten a couple of times has really instilled this level of speciality that some other kind of poacher or bounty hunter wouldn't have of their own.
Okay, so maybe that's true. So maybe the other thing is, because this is something else that I started thinking about, didn't really get very far, but should have thought about more, is that, so the plan from InGen here is, whether we're talking about Hammond or his nephew, is then, now they do want everybody to know about the dinosaurs. So they spend all this time covering it up. And during this cover-up, you've had Ian Malcolm standing there saying, people died. Like, this was a tragedy. This was horrible. And it was a fucking disaster and all these people died. And so then InGen's plan is to stop covering it up and be like, "Oh no, yeah, we do have dinosaurs." How is the public going to take that? Because if you heard that, so say you've been watching this on the news and there's this crazy Ian Malcolm guy being like, "All these people died from these dinosaurs," and everybody thinks he's crazy. And then the company responsible actually goes, "Oh yeah, we do have dinosaurs, come to our park and pay money." First thing would be like,
"Wait,
hold
so
on.
did those people die?"
Yeah, you would be like, "Hey, and didn't a bunch of people die last time?" So it's a wild premise when you really think about it. So I don't know whether Hammond's cunning plan was to have Ian Malcolm be on this expedition that he was going to use to then publicize the fact that dinosaurs existed, so that it could be like, "Oh, he's on board," or something. Because he is famous. Remember, they describe him as a rock star.
Well, yeah, no,
in the first film.
You're right. Hammond is gearing up for a PR war. It makes sense to have the guy who's been the face of, he thinks dinosaurs are real.
And also he thinks they're scary and dangerous.
Yeah.
But they're not that bad, because he actually went back to the island to see them again. So,
well, yeah,
I don't know whether it's something like that.
He's going to have credibility out the wazoo when everyone else finds out dinosaurs are real. Because as you said, like InGen doesn't seem to have a plan for what they do after they're like, but for reals, we do have the dinosaurs.
Yeah, like the G's plan is like, I'm going to sail a T-Rex to San Diego.
Yeah.
And
Same
just
thing.
open a park after all that. And just people, I mean,
we didn't have dinosaurs before, but when he said that we did, it gave us the idea to make it. That's maybe the plan.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna
it was
fully.
such a good idea that we decided to do it.
I'm gonna fully hate
about it. And we
George's.
thought that sounds great.
Yeah. No, George has fully convinced me. You're right. Hammond got him as a PR thing. That fully tracks.
And then it was just a plus that he actually was pretty decent at dealing with the dinosaurs, or he actually did have some dino experience. But
I think the other thing that really jumped out to me from the scene where he meets Hammond too, as well as his dino experience, is one of the things he brings up is that thing from the first film where it's like, wait, didn't you make them lysine deficient? They're not meant to be able to survive for more than 7 days.
That they actually addressed it.
Yeah, but then also Hammond's excuse is, crazy, huh? Go find out what's happening. And I was like, God, InGen fucking sucks at their jobs.
That's
clearly
classic
lysine
Hammond.
Deficiency was a fucking terrible plot. Like,
especially when you think back to the first film, where Malcolm's whole thing is life finds a way.
Yeah.
You can't control these
Life
things, and then he
barely
goes,
even had to find
"Hang
a way
on,
this time."
didn't you have a control for that?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, go figure." Like, so funny.
But it's also like, because one of the first things Sarah says to them when they get to the island is she's like, they eat the lysine-rich foliage. And it's like, so...
Seems like an easy
logic
step.
Coming.
Probably eat it.
Whoops.
Yeah. Like, they're like, let's make them lysine deficient. You know, that thing that's in lots of plants that dinosaurs eat. Like, maybe they weren't known to eat those things and now they've started to.
Well,
I think maybe
it feels like a sequel retcon. Like, we forgot about, we made up a thing for the lysine thing. Oh, let's just say it's in a bunch of plants.
I appreciate that they brought it up because they could have just not mentioned it, and I don't think I would have remembered it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the gang arrives on the island.
Wait, hang on. Nobody's mentioned Vince Vaughn yet.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn's in the movie as well. He's a pretty fun character.
Because remember, I said that they're like when we'll talk about Samuel L. Jackson, and I was like, "There's going to be a character in the next one. Keep your eyes out."
Oh, was that who you meant?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Okay,
I was shocked. I had no memory of him being in this film. Whereas I feel like Elliot of that age should have been like, "Oh my god, it's the guy from Dodgeball."
I don't know if we would have watched Dodgeball yet.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, then I should have been watching Dodgeball and said, "Oh my god,
it's
the guy from
Nick Van
The Lost
Owen
World."
from The Lost World.
I was more impressed by Julianne Moore, who did great in this movie.
I thought it was a really strong cast in general.
Very good cast.
Very well
very
cast
good
movie.
Cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the gang, which is Ian Malcolm, Julianne Moore playing his girlfriend, who is a paleontologist, I think, and Vince Vaughn, who's like a war photographer. Oh, and what's the other guy's name?
Eddie,
who's
I think Vince Vaughn
like
is
the
a
tech guy.
I don't think he's a war photographer. I think he was a nature videographer.
No, he also talked about how he had,
he did a war.
Done
I think.
war
he does
photography
talk
and stuff.
about it. Yeah,
anyway,
briefly.
So they go to this island because they're trying to find Sarah, and there's about 5 minutes where they think something horrible has happened to her, but no, it turns out she just put her backpack down on the ground and ran away for a bit. That happens.
Probably worth clarifying, they weren't actually sent to find Sarah. That was Ian's plan. Hammond's plan was for them to go look at dinosaurs with Sarah.
True. But anyway, yeah, also Ian's daughter stows away, which was very predictable, but also very fun.
I do like.
There's enough of a gap there that you've sort of forgotten about it, and then she comes out of the thing, and you're like,
yeah,
whoa.
it takes a while before she, reveals herself.
Oh, and
she's just like, I was going to make dinner. And you're like,
she's
oh my
making
god,
a meal. It's so good.
I just love how she's like, but you basically told me to come here. And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, well, you said not to listen to you, which is just the most piece of shit response. But also, like, it's Ian Malcolm's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, it's very much like, yeah, that tracks.
They nail the teenage girl. Like, when they're having before they leave and they're having the, like, argument. And there's just, when she's, like, I got kicked off the gymnastics team, Dad. Thanks for knowing. And walks off. Hannah and I were like, oh, yeah. That's it. Yep. That's a teenage girl.
Yeah, but
I remember being like that.
She also just felt like Malcolm's daughter. Like, that was what I really appreciated about the character, is like the way she just, I don't know, it was like being a snarky asshole to him most of the time. And then, it just felt, and like similarly, Sarah as his girlfriend, like fully tracked for me. Like, the more we saw and heard about Sarah, the more I was like, it does make sense to me that Ian Malcolm would be dating the sort of woman who would just completely ditch him to run off to the last place in the world he wants her to go.
And then her response is, but you like your independence. I'm a great girlfriend because you don't have to, you can have your alone time. I was like, this is, the dialogue between all three of them was so well done. It was super realistic, and all of them, they really felt like a blended family. It was really actually surprising. Normally when you're watching a dinosaur movie and then the people start talking, you're like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I actually found myself
we're about to watch
enjoying
3 episodes that have that. So 3 movies that have that.
I actually found myself like really enjoying just these little snippets of their weird family dynamic and their bickering. Like, it was just really well written. And like, Malcolm has some great lines. They make him very funny.
Oh, and there's the classic, like, the girlfriend teams up with the daughter and the argument bits, which, old school classic stuff, still works. I don't know. I did think it was funny, just like Sarah has so little disregard for Malcolm's trauma from the last time. Like, I did kind of start to feel a little bit sorry for him when he's trying to explain how much he doesn't want to be on this island, and she's like, come on, it'd be fine. And it's like,
he nearly died.
You're the one who believes him. Like, you're like, this guy almost got eaten by a T-Rex multiple times, and now you've gone to the T-Rex island, and you're like, bro, chill out. Like, I don't know. Yeah, again, like, just a little bit self-centered, just chasing her own journey. Definitely the sort of person who would date Ian Malcolm, like, fully tracks.
Yeah, she's no saint. Like, 100%. I like the bit where she goes, she's like, oh, it's really nice that you came here to rescue me and whatever. But she's like, but I just don't need you right now. And instantly you're like, oh, she's gonna need him.
Yeah.
That's 100% where this movie is
To his
going.
credit, he not once says "I told you so."
He does not.
He is very justified in saying it to every single character in this movie.
But instead, he just concentrates all his energy on keep being like, we need to get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. This is a fucking terrible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, good on him. Good on him. Yeah, this is the much shorter part of the movie where we just get nice dino moments, which is good. Like, it's good that it's in here, but it doesn't need to be a whole hour like it was in the first one. Just give us a good 10 minutes of some nice stegosauruses. A bit of danger as Sarah has to dodge a thagomizer, but, mostly pretty fun.
That's was that the word of the day recently, Reuben?
I just wanted to put it in the script so everyone knew that I know what they're called.
Yeah, I like thagomizer is one of those words where people only use it when they want you to know that they know it. Like, you know what I mean?
Very true.
Underneath that's written, Elliot's written cool word Reuben. Yep. I thought he was referring to the fact that Reuben had written wowzer.
That's a cool word too. I'm full of cool words.
It is a nice word,
wowzer. Good times. Anyway,
yeah. No, I do. That was like one of the. There's a handful of them in this movie, and we'll get to the biggest one in a little bit. But I do really appreciate the silliness of the moment where one of them goes to whack her with the thagomizer, and she just kind of commando rolls under it.
Yeah,
and it's
like,
a bit
that's
like
so easy.
like like if that happened to me in real life, like if I managed to dodge a swing like that, I would be talking about it for months because that's clearly a fluke. You're clearly like, hey, I should have died, but I somehow pulled off the 1 in a million roll. And it's bizarre that she isn't talking about it more.
Have you seen that video where it's like a kid knocks something over and catches it and then quickly checks that he can't do Spider-Man webs? That'd be, I'd be like, am I Spider-Man?
Exactly.
She just doesn't even bring it up ever again. She just walks off.
Yeah.
And goes, it's fine, Ian.
Whereas like I would have been running back. Did you guys see that?
No, there's a videographer.
Yeah,
did you get that on film? I'm posting that on Instagram straight away.
They pivot their journey from being about documenting dinosaurs to
cool stunts.
Kind of Dude Perfect-esque YouTube channel.
This week on Dino Jackass.
So yeah, Malcolm is planning to leave and kind of getting ready to get off the island, but suddenly there are some others lost on this island. Leading them is somebody who seems to just want to murder animals for fun, which I wrote being very critical at the start, but actually this character really turns around over the course of this movie.
He does.
Yeah, they explore him with a surprising amount of depth.
Yeah, he became one of my favorite characters by the end of the film, which was very surprising. But
it's very quick. Like again, this is one of those moments where I think I appreciated it more because I could remember this from being a kid. Like there is so much emphasis placed by the goodies, the awesome foursome for like, oh, we need to be stealth, we need to be upwind, we're trying to not disrupt the environment. And then these guys just come in on fucking helicopters, like drop their jeets down and start shooting and tearing the place the fuck up. And like, you're just so quickly like, oh man, these guys fucking suck. And like, again, this is the thing that was even 10-year-old Elliot didn't really know what was happening, but was like, these guys bad.
I think the other thing that made it really easy to differentiate was like they made it very apparent that the goodies know a lot about the dinos and the baddies don't know shit about the dinos.
They do have their own neckbeard dino expert.
They have. He's sort of the exception, which is just, that makes sense. You would have to have our dinosaur expert. But like the hunters, they can't pronounce any of the names of the dinosaurs. They have those like comically large info sheets that they're flicking through to try and identify the dinos. And even with that, the guy is just like, fuck it, this one's called Elvis, this one's called Friar Tuck. Like he just gives them dumb nicknames, and it's just
they're not dumb. Friar Tuck was a great nickname for that dinosaur.
Very funny, yes.
Yeah,
that one's the Cranidos from Pokemon, right? I'm pretty sure I've seen that one before.
Pretty sure that was actually a Pokemon.
No, it's the headbutt one from The Land Before Time.
Okay.
But I thought that was like another just good thing they did. It's like, these like the goodies are scientists and these people are not scientists.
Yeah, these guys are here to exploit shit. The others were here to like understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. The sort of dicky hunting vehicles, really stand out in my memory from childhood, like the way that the chairs go out to the side so
Those
you
are
can get
real.
a better shot.
That was
That's
awesome.
real. It's fucking ridiculous.
Um,
It's so funny.
I used to watch this show with the CEO of the company we used to work for together, Reuben.
Mhm.
We used to watch this show about people pimping redneck pig hunting vehicles, and they did stuff
So-
like that.
So
And like they'd have like automatic machine gun things like in the turrets that would poke out and stuff. It was great.
Okay, so you just said it was for rednecks, so they are stupid vehicles.
Oh yeah, but they're real. Yeah.
Well, anyway, either way,
Yeah.
I
No,
thought
I'm not. Sorry, I'm not. I'm
it
not
just
arguing that
really
it's not
sticks out.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Really stands out in my mind. I mean, I am dumbfounded that that's real. It looks completely silly.
No, the part that it was one of the two scenes I remembered from this film is that scene that we've already talked about where they're putting together the big bus that the goodies are going to take, and it's just like in a big warehouse and everything's being welded, and Eddie's giving Malcolm the rundown, and Malcolm's having the argument with his daughter, and I don't know why, but like I thought that was the coolest set of any movie ever. When I was like, that's where I want to be when I grow up. Is I just wanted just the concept of the whole warehouse where everyone was working to build a super bus for dinosaurs just really lives rent free in my head. I don't really have more of a point. I was just like 10-year-old Elliot was fucking obsessed with not the bus itself, but the scene of putting the bus together.
Yeah.
I didn't actually really care for the bus when they went. It looked like a cramped camper van. Wasn't a fan of it, but I love the idea of a place that builds that stuff.
I liked the dicky hunting vehicles.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Those are the two kinds of people.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the idea that Ludlow schedules his investor meeting on the first night that they arrived? And this investor meeting requires them to have caught a number of dinosaurs to show off. It's so ballsy. Like, I kind of can't help but respect it. It means they had to arrive, catch dinosaurs, set up camp, and then have an investor meeting. What a crazy schedule.
I think I commented when we were watching it was like they wasted zero time.
Yeah.
They landed and immediately went for the dinosaurs. They did not take, like, have you ever been on a long flight? Like,
I know, right?
Take 10 minutes to go to the bathroom at least. No, they are straight
they're
away.
all business.
Well, no, they were pissing
All
out of those
business.
chairs because you don't need to work.
There's actually like a little inbuilt button to
Yeah.
like take your
Well,
shit.
actually, the chairs don't go out the side of the vehicle for the aiming. That's for urination. Your chair just moves out the side of the car. You piss and then you come back in.
Yeah, so they just because you got to shoot while you're peeing. There's no time to stop.
What do you think the tranquilizers are made out of, Georgia?
They-
Dinosaurs are really pissed.
They're made out of what shit?
Got lost there.
Yeah, I thought the really interesting part, Reuben, was that Ludlow actually came himself.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
He really strikes you in the first scene as a guy who sends his cronies to do his dirty work for him. But he's here. He's fucking in the muck with them
He's
for
on
a
the
lot
ground. You kind of can't help but respect him a bit for it. Hey,
it was like he's a piece of shit, but like that's actually good leadership. Like he's leading from the front, and you got to kind of respect that, even though
he even
it's
takes
good when
down
he
one of the
dies.
dinos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shoots him down.
Like,
and
he's involved.
I also really like the bit where where we first get introduced to what's his face, the hunter guy,
Roland.
Roland, yes, I think that's him. And it's like Ludlow's giving instructions, and then he turns around and goes, "Look, like fuck you, I'm in charge, and you don't even have to pay me. I just want to kill a T-Rex." And that's essentially how his character is set up. But then Ludlow just goes, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
And he's like really happy about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, you can be in charge, whatever."
And there's another dick wagging
so
about
random.
who's in charge. Like this guy's like, "Hey, I'm the field operator. I want to be in charge on the field." And Ludlow's just like, "Yeah,
yep, fine,
cool."
yeah."
He's like, yeah, you know what? That's why I brought you here. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like,
it's weird that they didn't talk about it before they got to the island. But anyway.
Like,
good leadership, delegation.
I agree.
He's
Yeah.
a good leader, if nothing else.
Definitely nothing else.
Another failing. To get back to the failings of Ludlow, their camp is torn apart by a group of 3 dinosaurs. Only one is very big, and it's a Stegosaurus. No, it's a Triceratops. Was it? Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
That basically that one dinosaur runs through their entire camp and wrecks it, which clearly means they're not very prepared. Although it was this Triceratops maybe is extra smart or something, because there is one bit where it flings a car 20 meters through the air and lands it perfectly at a target, which is pretty good.
It's incredibly.
I wanted to call this part. This is the one moment more than any other where I was like, that's a little ridiculous, because especially the other thing that car goes at least 100 feet in the air.
And then blows up for some reason.
I'm just not convinced that a Triceratops has the leverage or strength to fling a car that high, let alone hit the people in the tree from that far away. It's the one shot where it's like, that was unnecessary, guys. Like,
but do you is this maybe more a comment on the fact that you only need one Triceratops? Like, they don't know what they're fucking with. One Triceratops can decimate their entire camp. Like, these are big animals that they have no control over, and they actually have no appreciation of that. Also, they had very little time, guys. These tents are just just quickly flicked up. Like,
and I assume all of their security was pointed outwards to stop a dinosaur coming in from the outside, whereas the cage things were inside the camp. So I can see why you wouldn't have as much security pointed there, because they assumed they were all locked up.
It would be crazy to assume that a activist from Greenpeace would come and release the dinosaurs. That would be insane.
Yeah.
They didn't know they were on the island at this point. So.
And again, this is just a temporary camp. I'm not surprised the Triceratops can completely tear it up.
You know what I like is the bit where Roland is like, we're not alone on this island. And it sounds like something that you say about the baddies, but it's actually the goodies who are like terrorizing them.
You can see the horror movie where he's the protagonist in that moment, where they're being plagued by saboteurs on this dinosaur island.
Yeah. And this horrifying, you think you've come to an island full of dinosaurs, and what the fuck? There's people here? Since when? Who are they?
Like the people in King Kong.
Yeah, and they just tried to kill you, as far as you don't know that they're on the dinosaur side. Maybe they just want to kill you or sabotage you. Like, that's actually terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like, because Vince Vaughn character is set up right at the start as he's like, oh, I've worked for Greenpeace, but now I just do this photo stuff. And then
when he makes a joke about oh yeah, because there's lots of chicks there or something.
Yeah.
And so you think he's just like a dropkick.
I fell for it this time again. And then they're sort of like, I haven't thought this might happen, so he brought me to be prepared for it, and he fucking busts out his Greenpeace eco-terrorist kit, and it was just like it's great because it caught me completely off guard, but also it was like, well, shit, that was all right there. This, I fully believe this actually makes more sense. This is why it's him. Great twist.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense too. Given, and we know Hammond is smart and calculating, and he knew what his nephew was probably up to. You're like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. If you're sending in a small team, people are going to have multiple roles, especially when you've got Malcolm as one of the 4 and he has sort of no role.
Yeah. I loved that moment where it turns out Vince is also here to be a Greenpeace releaser activist guy. It was so good.
Yeah. And then they take the baby T-Rex, which was obviously a mistake. I originally was like, I doubt they're going to have enough medical supplies to do anything for it. That was wrong. They apparently have a full dino hospital in their truck, so fair enough.
Well, I mean, most of the dino hospital stuff is probably, especially for the size of that T-Rex, is probably the same as the human hospital stuff.
No, I don't know. Dinosaurs and humans are pretty different.
But I like when she's just like, we'll give it amoxicillin. It's like, how could you possibly know that will work on a dinosaur? It probably will, but...
Yeah, they should have brought a vet. If they were worried about doing that sort of thing, you'd want a vet.
I mean, they actually spent a fair amount of time making comments about drug doses. It came up multiple times in the film about we don't know how fast this is going to be metabolized in this body. We better be careful of the dosing, which is fine, but it was weird that it came up so many times.
Well, because they use it as a great mechanic, because so many of the darts end up underdosing the dinosaurs because they've been conservative with the doses. It's like, well, if we really need it, hit them multiple times, which makes sense in a controlled environment, but when somebody's running from a dinosaur, makes for great horror movie stuff.
Yeah, and because then at the end they have when they're talking about the T-Rex having busted out, it comes back because they say, "Oh, we accidentally overdosed the T-Rex, so we had to give it naloxone, which is like what you give for opioid overdoses." Oh, and and then they gave probably too much of that, so then they like just totally.
It's just it's endemic of another InGen Rush job of they haven't taken the time to actually understand what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, nobody thought to study the metabolism of the dinosaurs and how fast they react to and metabolize different drugs that they might need to use on them.
I just kind of want to say, let the baby dinosaur die. And I know that sounds harsh, but I think I'm a vegetarian, so I get a pass.
Oh, that's how it works. Yeah.
Would you eat a T-Rex?
Yeah, no, like, I've built up my cred for not being cruel to animals. So
was it all worth it, Reuben?
You're cashing in your good
I'm
animal
cashing it in
karma
for this. Just don't take the baby T-Rex. Like, it's clearly such a mistake, and it leads to all their problems.
I mean, the funny thing is Sarah is the one who's trying to tell everyone else that the T-Rexes have like parental instincts.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of funny that she's the one who does this because everyone else is like, well, the T-Rexes probably won't follow, and she's like, actually, I think they're a lot more paternal than people believe. And it's like, then why the fuck have you kidnapped their child?
Why have you done this?
And then she does like the same thing again when she stands there in her t-shirt that's soaked in the baby T-Rex's blood and talks about how they've actually got really big olfactory chambers, which it indicates that they probably had a really good sense of smell as she stands there in her blood-soaked shirt, which she then doesn't take off. It's like, you are very book smart, but not very practically smart, are you, Sarah? Like, she does a few real dumb things in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just chalk it down, I guess, Vince he's just a sucker for animals.
Well, yeah, that's his Greenpeace side.
Well, yeah, because he also, like, sabotages Roland's gun, which, given the scenario they're in at the time, is wild. Like, they're literally going to try to Velociraptor infested area, and he cares so much about the dinosaurs that he takes away like one of their few lethal weapons.
And it's like at that point
he's committed.
They're well past the do not interfere like requirement that they originally had. Yeah.
So he's obviously like next level into the welfare of these dinosaurs.
Yeah, very like Peter level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Just leave the dino. Just leave the baby T-Rex. I mean, yes, it's probably going to die. Not your prob, is what I would say. Anyway, in what is a surprise to nobody, the T-Rex parents are not happy about their kid being napped, so they push this bus over a cliff. And this is a very fun action moment. Like, it lasts about 20 minutes, and
it's so good.
They get out of trouble about for 4 times, and then it gets worse each time, and it's so good every single time.
I really like how at the start they have like they give the baby back to the parents, and it's like, oh, it's a touching moment, and they think it's fun, and then just they come back for revenge.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's a great moment where Malcolm figures it out like 2 seconds before it happens, where he's like, wait, so wouldn't that mean? And then the shit goes down, which I always love those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are good.
My favorite part of this was the bit where Eddie's trying to juggle the 2 ropes and they keep not like getting done upright. Like he sends the rope down to the guys in the truck, then the truck starts slipping, so he's getting the other rope, and as he's hooking that to his car so he can stop the thing from falling down, the other rope unties itself, so then he has to run back over there. It's so fun watching him juggle these 2 life-preserving ropes as everyone else on the like bus is just kind of struggling.
And just like the tension when Julianne Moore is on the glass.
Yeah.
That's a very good scene too.
Yeah. There's this one bit where they're all hanging on the rope and the bus falls around them. It's so psychotic. It's a crazy thing to happen, but I loved it so much.
I like as a kid, just remember I was always gutted by Eddie's death. I think he's he's probably the first and one of the very few actually like sort of good characters who dies in the Jurassic Park movies. Like, I think.
What about the insurance guy?
What
last movie.
about the insurance the lawyer?
Everyone's
I think-
favorite character.
Yeah, what about him? I think the only one I can think of from the first film is Samuel L. Jackson's character, but he died off screen, so it was a little bit different. But like we fully see Eddie get like horrendously chewed up and torn to pieces.
He gets Lady in the Tramp.
Yeah, he does. And like his last moments, he's still got his foot on the pedal trying to help the others. And you're just like, oh, Eddie's such a fucking legend. And then he can't get the trank out. And that tranquilizer, he said it travels faster than like an electrical pulse up an axon. I was like, it's a fucking instantaneous. This is ridiculous. But that is a good tranquilizer. He could have got one shot in. Oh, Eddie, I still mourn him.
Axon ion channels as fast as chemistry can kind of do. Like that's sort of the whole point of
it. Yeah, it doesn't make any it's like saying something goes faster than the speed of light, I feel. It's like it sort of can't.
Yeah, like the whole reason axons use those ion channels is because that's about the quickest way to chemically signal stuff.
Yeah, it's essentially instantaneous. He's like, they'll be out before they even feel it or something. I was like, it's like, I guess doesn't really make any sense.
Unless it's a toxin that travels through the nervous system. But then it would be the same speed.
Yeah.
But they ride at the front.
But also it's like, so how, because this is a big bugbear of mine in a lot of films, is like things don't get absorbed quickly when they're intramuscularly injected. Like all these things, like the
so intramuscularly injected, is that just with a needle?
Yes, if you just put it in a muscle,
okay,
like an immunization, it's not going to be absorbed and
but they didn't stuff
by your body as fast as
muscle.
if something's put into a vein.
It's in a dart.
Yes, that gets shot into a muscle.
Well, it depends where they hit it. Like if they hit it in the bicep.
Yeah, there's no way they're aiming at their veins. There's no way their aim is good enough to shoot it into a vein.
What if it's like got a fat gut?
Dexter goes up to somebody.
Pretty deep on what is not that important.
So every time in Dexter, he goes up to somebody and he just injects into a random spot in the neck and they pass out nearly instantaneously. Where is he injecting it anyway? It's just a real medical bugbear of mine. I'm like, you can't just inject shit wherever you want and have it get absorbed real quick. Not how it works.
Well,
Dr. Death, on the other that I watched a bit of that on the plane. Very medically accurate show.
I saw a bit of that actually. How Miles was finishing,
especially the personalities of the surgeons are 100% bad.
Yeah, they're all really unlikable.
Their personalities are weird in the exact ways that a lot of surgeons like. That they're very.
Well, I mean, it's based on real people, right?
Like, yeah.
I think. Sorry, going back to the whole bus falling off scene. The bit that seemed the most ridiculous to me, Reuben, wasn't when the van falls down and they go right through the middle of it.
No,
it was the bit where Julianne Moore
falls around them.
Yeah.
And nothing hits them.
I think it was even more ridiculous when Julianne Moore slips about 5 meters down along the rope and her hands aren't leaking like the rope burn. Yeah. It hurt to watch, and then she just is like, well, I guess I'll keep holding on. I was like, but your hands, though.
You would die because you would just instinctually like the pain would be so incredible. You would just go and fall to your death, 100%. There's no way she holds on.
They should have put her in gloves or something for that scene.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm cringing just thinking about the rope burn. Oh. Do you remember that one time I fell over on a treadmill at home and I got carpet burn all over my face?
Sorry, when you say fell over, what were you doing?
I was playing on it. I was a kid. I put it up to the top speed and then jumped on it and I fell and
it landed
my
on your
face
chin.
Landed on the rubber part that
times.
moves real fast and it burned my face. And then Mum tied a bandage around my head and tied a little bow at the top, which now that I know that she was a nurse, it's a really stupid thing to do. I don't know what she was
But that is funny.
She was just trying to get a funny photo, I think. It was a funny photo.
You know what? So just because I remember it's right next to that part of their house. Because our parents are leaving the house where we grew up in at the moment. And the last time I was up there, I was trying to find if I could. Do you remember the time I kicked a hole in the wall?
No.
I was trying to find the hole I kicked in the wall that we got plastered over, and I credit to the plasters who did that job. I cannot find it.
Why'd you kick a hole in the wall?
So I was trying to do a wall run.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't manage it because my foot kept going when it hit the wall.
So I'm not gonna judge you because one of maybe the stupidest things I ever did. I was in high school and I was in the library, and I had my foot then resting on the window, and then I kind of shifted it a bit, and the glass kind of like bent a little, bent a little bit and made a little noise. And
So you kicked it?
Yeah, so Hannah and my friend were sitting there. I was like, I literally said, I wonder how hard I can push it. And then I shattered the window. And then the assistant librarian came around and was like, what have you done? And I went, I don't know. I just touched it and it just broke. Anyway, I got away with it. But that was a really stupid thing to do.
You're so much more dishonest than me because Mum came in and I was hanging from the hole in the wall at this point. So my knee, I went in up to my knee and then I got stuck and I was like hanging there awkwardly. Mum was like, "What happened?" I was like, "I was trying to see if I could walk on the wall." Like, there's no effort to lie on my end.
Yeah, no, Mum was fully like, the school was like, "We're so sorry that we endangered you with our shitty window," and I was like, "It's okay." It's okay. I wasn't hurt. Don't worry about it, guys. Seriously, stop talking about it.
Yeah, I just, in retrospect, what I did wrong was I came out at like fully perpendicular to the wall and then tried to do my 90-degree turn as I charged into it at full speed. I should have come in at an angle.
Yeah, I should have just not kicked glass. Silly thing to do. Don't try that at home, kids.
We're a smart family.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
baddies do the bad, goodies do the good. Go climb wall.
Yeah, these are the DeWolf family motto.
This is a glimpse into the mind of our family members.
So yeah, they climb up to safety, apart from Eddie, and the other camp is there, kind of welcoming them to the top of the cliff, which is nice. Together, they merge camps now that shit is obviously going bad, and decide to head deeper into the island to get to some working communications gear.
Yeah, this team up is surprisingly smooth and doesn't get challenged as much as I would have expected for cheap drama.
Yeah, which I kind of like.
Where they team up with the Americans. And then also there's the scene with the I don't know, it just gave me the same vibe, except there was less animosity. Except for Vince Vaughn, who was like not very keen on them. And then there's also the long grass scene with the velociraptors, which is just like that scene from the second Mummy film.
You are doing a good job of explaining why this is the best Jurassic Park movie. That's a good point.
Yeah, I think this is subconsciously why I knew that you would like this movie more than the first one.
Because it's more like the Mummy.
Yeah. It's exactly right. You have some kind of weird thing for the mummies, so
I don't think it's weird. That's the part I'm going to argue.
It's weirdly intense.
Well, what I'm really excited for, and I'm kind of jumping ahead in my notes, but it was always my 6 day movies were The Mummy Returns, and then I would watch Jurassic Park 3. So I'm very excited to do Jurassic Park 3 next month because I have the same weird level of attachment to that movie as I do to the Mummies.
That's so strange.
I like that. It's like Mummy 1, Mummy 2, Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perfect trilogy. We get some more scenes of the tiny piranha raptors, which is fun. Stuff is getting more and more troubling. Can I ask a question? The T-Rexes are like bloodhounds in this movie, tracking them, but also they can't see you if you don't move. I don't understand. How do you reconcile those two? Like, they can track you from far away, but can't see you when you're right there.
I think all of the sensory cortex of their brain is dedicated to only their sense of smell.
Yeah, but shouldn't they then be able to smell you if you're right in front of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I think that's
what
the
I
point
was
where it's
confused about.
up,
Yeah.
I think this is actually a bit of a recurring issue with the Jurassic Park movies is they incorporate a lot of the cutting edge theory on how dinosaurs looked and acted. And then the problem is that shit gets updated about every decade. So, minor spoilers for the 6th movie. The 6th one goes out of its way to introduce a bunch of new feathered dinosaurs, but in the Jurassic Park universe, they're slightly different dinosaurs to like the Velociraptors. Like
weird.
It's only the slightly different species of Velociraptor that has the feathers, and it's like I think this is just the earliest incarnation of this problem that kind of plagues the series, which is they're trying to like lay down rules for how the dinosaurs work, but also accommodate the latest information from the scientific community, which often contradicts what they've already established. Like T-Rexes are meant to be super feathery, I think, is like the current
Did you go to the
thinking.
T-Rex exhibition at the museum a few years ago?
No.
Basically, all T-Rexes. Well, it was very good. All the T-Rexes basically had like feathers.
Which
They now
museum?
think. The Australian Museum in Sydney. But I mean, it travelled around. It went to a bunch of.
Did you go to Armadale?
Like, did you go to the spider one?
No,
What, you're not in the museum circle, Elliot.
No, I'm not.
You're not a fucking nerd like me.
I'm going to blame. No, I'm going to blame Armadale for this.
Yeah. I mean,
no, you're right. I'm too much of a jock for museum shit. Yeah, I'm too busy playing sports like League of Legends.
You're not chasing around museum exhibitions because I went to the spider one in Brisbane because I just want to go to museum exhibitions. I find them.
Yeah, I'd be willing to go to them. It's just like it's been a long time since I lived anywhere that had one's worth going to. Like,
it's been a long time since I lived anywhere that has museum exhibitions, but I find them.
Yeah, but you leave the house. As a rule, I don't.
I haven't lived in Sydney for like nearly 10 years.
Yeah, but Newcastle is a lot closer to Sydney, you know? Like, it's a lot more feasible.
I went to these when I was in Port Macquarie.
Okay.
You got to commit, Elliot. Come on.
No, I'm not committed. I'll fully cop that. I just think it's funny that you're talking about museum exhibitions, places that are like 6 hours away from where I lived, and you're like, you didn't go.
I was talking about them as though they're like films that you would see. Like, what, you didn't see the new T-Rex exhibition?
Yeah, you haven't heard about, like, you know, the latest who's president of the United States.
I do know who that is. Yeah. Prime Minister of the UK.
Oh, that's
a new
not
one.
fair. Yeah. I mean, especially for the people listening to this 6 months later, they're going to be about 8 more prime ministers further down than us.
But the cat that lives at Downing Street will still be the head mouser.
Yeah.
Now has outlived 4 prime ministers, in case anybody was wondering.
I saw a great graph. I think I sent this to you, Reuben, but it was about the number of Elizabeths in charge of the UK.
Classic.
And it was like 1, then it went up to 2, and then went back down to 1, and then went down to 0.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So the gang kind of goes deeper and deeper into carnivore territory to get to, you know, communications tech, and just get more and more murdered by increasingly CGI looking carnivores until we get that classic Velociraptor showdown through some old buildings.
Yeah,
gotta have it.
Can we talk more about the Velociraptors in the long grass, though? I think that's my favorite raptor scene in the whole franchise. It's so, like, just for the shot of the group moving through the long grass, and then we start seeing the Velociraptors coming at them from all the angles.
Yeah,
and like, we're just seeing the paths of it. Like, that is a top tier horror movie shot. It's so good. I love that scene. I can't believe we're not talking about it more.
It is. No, it's really good. It's like 2 seconds of that is like really good.
Yeah. Like, you know, like whereas, you know, the bit where we're fighting the Velociraptors in the building is actually in a lot of ways very similar to the Velociraptor climax scene in the first movie.
I like where they're having the digging race, though.
Yeah,
like,
that's
the Velociraptors are digging, and then the humans are digging, and it's like, who's gonna win?
I see, especially because they're doing the same thing. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Velociraptors actually start first. The Velociraptors start digging, so then they start digging on the other side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're copying the Velociraptors, And then they have to climb anyway, and it's like, why didn't you just climb from the start? I don't know. Hide up there. We don't know whether Velociraptors smell good yet.
No, that hasn't been discussed.
It has not come up.
There's a lot of talk of cool Velociraptor shit in the next film, but we can talk about that.
We'll get to that next time, yeah. I was very happy that Kelly's gymnastics skills came into play because they've been talking about it a bit, and it was such a weird thing to come back. But she just fucking does some parallel bars and kicks the Velociraptor. It's awesome.
It's like they had the list of, like, character traits to, like, bring in at the end for good storytelling, and they realized right at the end here that they hadn't done Kelly's gymnastics. And so they're like, because there's just so much flourish on her, like, kicking this Velociraptor.
She's doing like full, like, Olympic
Yeah, she does
bar
like extra
routine.
twirls and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, just kick the fucking raptor that's about to eat your dad. Like, what are you doing?
And does
It's like
the
I
landing.
could have just swung on a pole and kicked something. Like you can tone it down a bit.
It's monkey bars, bro. Like,
Yeah. I can't do monkey bars, I don't
It
think.
was
But
very
not
fun.
anymore, but I could have at that age, I reckon.
yeah, probably. Maybe.
She needed to build up enough momentum to kick the velociraptor that far.
Yeah.
So she had to do a
lots of
few
That's not
spins.
how you.
spins.
That's how it works. She did
That's
some
how
spins
physics
to
works,
build it
Elliot.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, monkey bars are weird, right? Like, because
No.
you can do them as a kid, but you can't do them as an adult, really. Like
You can
there's
still
a whole
do them as an adult.
The
No.
strength to weight ratio in a child is significantly better than an
yeah,
adult.
that's what
That
I'm
is
talking.
not weird.
That's cool and like dumb. Like, I want to do monkey bars, and
You still
part of
can,
that's my
Elliot.
fault because I'm like really obese at the moment. But like I'm just
Are
saying.
you blaming nature? I'm so confused.
Well, I'm saying okay because like you watch like American Ninja Warrior, right? And it's
Yeah.
like the whole thing of or Australian Ninja Warrior, if you want to get politically correct about it, and like the whole thing is like only the top 1% of ripped people in modern Western society can even do some like basic monkey bar shit. But you chuck a bunch of 5-year-olds somewhere, and like I remember doing like flips on monkey bars and stuff. Like, and I just think it's crazy that we grow up to not be able to do monkey bars.
But the reason we grow up not able to do monkey bars is because we don't keep doing monkey bars. We all just stop and sit down.
Yeah, okay, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How fucking stupid is society? This is
Yeah,
the problem
I'm
with
arguing
society.
it as though I haven't said to a bunch of my pediatric patients, like, you should keep doing the splits because if you stop, you won't be able to do them anymore. It's like a thing that I wish I had done, and I'm always like telling these random children that I meet at work, like, you don't stop doing the monkey bars just because you broke your arm. You should keep going.
Yeah, well, it's funny how much like if I were to ever become a parent, there are so many things where like I remember being forced to play a musical instrument in high school, and mum and dad's whole thing, because I fucking hated it. I never practiced unless I was forced to. Mum and dad were constantly like, when you're an adult, you're going to regret not being able to play a musical instrument. So you got to do it. Anyway, and now I'm here and I'm 30 and I don't have a double bass and I kind of wish I could sing or play musical instruments. And I'm like, man, if I ever had kids, they're doing that because they need to appreciate it while they've got the opportunity. And it's just funny how much crow I have to eat on stuff like that. Because like mum and dad kept telling me to do language stuff at school. And I was like, I don't need to speak other languages. And now I'm 30 and I only speak one language and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I think everybody goes through a period of when they're a child thinking, oh, I'm not going to, if I ever have kids, I'm not going to be this much of a helicopter parent. And then getting to be older and thinking, I probably still will. At least a little bit.
The other one, like Georgia and I had we did a lot of swimming, and we had a swim coach who was, bordering on a third parent at times. Like she was pretty involved in our life because we did a lot of swimming. And I remember when I started swim teaching, like while I was at uni, there was like a kid who came in and he was like, I can't keep swimming. I have a stitch. And I just instinctively responded to him, well, if you can talk, it's not bad enough to stop you from swimming, and made him keep going. And as he was going away, I remembered the hundreds of times she'd yelled at to me. And it was like, oh, what have I become?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember, do you want to hear the advice I remember her giving me that I still think about regularly was, so went from doing like, 9-10 sessions a week or whatever. And then I remember I was dropping back to only doing like 3 sessions a week or something. And she said to me, Georgia, I've seen how you eat. Now that you're like less than half the sessions, you can't eat the same amount of food. And I thought, what do you know? And I was sitting there like 2 years later, I was like, I'm fat now.
Yeah, she said the same thing to me and I didn't listen. And here I am.
Yeah. I was like, God, she had some good advice.
Yeah. I just
listen.
I do think there's like a whole genre of advice that I swear every kid gets, and they're like, nah, fuck that. And then you become an adult and you're like, no,
whoops,
I should have listened.
And I'm to that.
And I'm going to tell the next generation so they don't make the same mistake.
They'll listen to me, yeah. They'll totally listen to me.
They'll listen, yeah.
I bet every kid that I told to keep doing handstands definitely does that.
Yeah. But I do think monkey bars should be added to this list. I'm not expecting everyone to be good at monkey bars, but I do think we need to like put it on the docket of like it's wild to me that as a society
we did that in high school in the gymnasium. You'd have those wooden ladder bits that came out, and there were ropes that you swung on and stuff, and stuff that you had to climb. And
the fuck are you talking about?
No,
we just
so they
ran around a field.
They had one in the Taz gym. It was like wooden, a thing that would fold out from the wall, and it had like ladders up the side, and then there were ropes hanging down.
We never used that after year 5.
Oh, we used that in high school. So you would have to swing from rope to rope and climb up the ropes.
We just ran around the field. What? We played volleyball.
Yeah, we did that too. But we used to have to climb up and along the ropes. Not everybody could do it, but they made us try.
No, we never did anything cool like that.
Anyway, well, and I think there were monkey bars on there too, maybe.
I'm just saying, it's wild to me that we as a society have just fully accepted that we grow out of monkey bars.
Yeah, it's true.
Think about it. It's such a cool way to move.
Yeah. Well, and because like once you become an adult, so I was able to do like pull-ups, like chin-up things, like, a few years, like 5 years ago. I could do like 5, and I then took like a few months off because I finished uni and I went to like celebrate and drink some cocktails, come back, couldn't do it anymore. So I'm trying to learn to do it again now. It's taking a really long time, guys.
And you're never gonna monkey bar again. Like unless you dedicate like 5 years of your life, you're not gonna monkey, and that's just sad.
I'm gonna learn to monkey bar again. I'm gonna send you a video.
I mean, like,
no, but it's gonna be like because I think if I lost weight and got a bit more muscles in my, I think I could like a wheezing horse go across like 5 monkey bars. Like I want to see you like gliding through them like you did as a child. Like that's what's gone. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
but people do bouldering and shit. Like it's climbing. It's a skill that you can pick up.
Yeah, and but people don't. This is my whole thing. I'm not arguing that people can't. I'm saying people don't, and that's what's upsetting.
No, I see what you mean. It's like if we all just did monkey bars once a week for our whole lives, we'd be able to do monkey bars. Like,
and we don't, and that's crazy. People are stupid.
But, like, the human body is incredible. Like, if you ever go to Kokoda, like the things that the porters can do are incredible. Like, they are Olympic level athletes, but they just don't compete. Like, I saw a guy who was maybe a little bit taller than me. Like, they're so small. And he basically ran up a mountain. I watched him run up a mountain. He was holding 2 packs on his back. They were not, like, one was on, like, a pack, and the other one was just sitting on top. Like, it was just balancing it. And he ran up this, like, rocky mountain in seriously, like, fucking 30 seconds. And we had been hiking all day, feeling really sorry for myself. Like, this is so hard. And then Dad and I just watched this guy like full sprint with 2 packs on his back up this mountain. He's like my size. And we were just like, fuck. No shoes, by the way, either. Barefoot.
Oh, shit.
It's insane. And also, as orthopedic surgeons, like, his feet were dead flat. He's got no plantar arch. And people are here are like, my foot hurts because it's flat. And we're like, apparently you can run up a mountain with that. So I don't know why we're doing all this foot surgery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, so much of that is like adaptation to the lifestyle and shit. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just whatever you do every day, you can do. It's insane.
Yeah. This is what I loved about that old Todd Sampson's body hack show that we used to cover on Media and Beauty. Like, the editing on that was a bit dragged out, but he just went to different places in the world and found people with amazing abilities. Like, like they're Polynesian tribes who like do free-water diving stuff, so they can hold their breath for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. And then you think about how we just like, I don't know, we just sit around a lot, and so that's what we do.
No. Our bodies are perfectly attuned for podcasting.
Having just like sat on a plane for 24 hours.
I mean, to be fair, some of those people might look at it and it's like they just sat in a chair and talked about stupid shit for 90 minutes. That's amazing.
Incredible.
Like, how could you be that boring?
I mean, Hannah and I, in the space of 2 weeks, flew to Europe and back. It's like more than 24-hour trips. I basically sat for 24 hours. Do you think anybody can do that? Do you think it was fucking hard? It was hard.
A skill.
To sit
this is why
my feet swelled up.
I always, God, you're such a champion.
Through. I had compression socks on, actually. They still swelled.
This is why I always get aisle seats on any flight that I take anywhere.
You have to get up.
Really bad. And it's crazy to me that people like, because like my ex was always like, oh, I'm gonna get the window seat. And I'm always like, you fucking have it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to, because I need to get up like every hour or I start to go insane and feel weird. And it's bonkers to me that people will go to the window seat and then just like have to awkwardly slide past the other people.
It's
Why
good
would you
on a
make
short
that
flight
choice?
because you get to lean on the window and look out the window, but not for a long flight.
I don't know. I just don't even risk it. Even on like hour-long flights, I'm like, what if I need to get up for a bit?
Well, we were lucky because on our way there, it was like really empty, the flight. So Hannah and I had like 3 seats on, like, to each other. So Hannah was at the window seat so she could like sleep on the window. And then I had 2 seats to like lie horizontally.
Nice.
So we slept pretty well.
Yeah,
One time
nice.
I was on a flight from San Francisco back to Sydney, and there were about 5% of the seats filled. I just fully lay down in a middle row. I had all 4 to myself. It was the best flight ever.
Oh, you didn't come to Thailand with us, but we flew back on Christmas Day and we each had 4 seats to lie down on. It was great.
It's awesome.
Speaking
Anyway.
of flights,
What were we talking about?
the gang flies away from this island back to San Diego.
Oh yeah,
For
Jurassic
some
Park.
reason.
We see the T-Rex arriving in San Diego, but who could have guessed things go wrong again? The T-Rex has taken over the boat and crashes it into the ship, into the dock.
That's right. This is the point where I was actually surprised to learn that these islands are in the Pacific. Is that right?
They're off Costa Rica.
Where? Yeah, sure. Yeah, we all know where that is.
I just remembered
what does
your
that mean,
geography is
Elliot?
really
Are they in the
fucking awful.
Pacific?
I don't know where Costa Rica. Like it's somewhere in the Americas.
I don't know where Costa Rica is. Central America.
Ah, it's in the skinny bit between the Americas. Okay. See, I thought it was more like near where Cuba is. I always thought this movie was happening somewhere in the Caribbean, but it's on the other side.
Oh,
See, but like San Antonio still would have been a better place than San Diego.
no, there's an entire Central America between those 2 locations.
Can I ask a question?
Which one do you think is the Pacific Ocean there, Elliot?
No, I see what you're saying. No, you're right. I wasn't thinking about boats. I was picturing
That's
like
the Atlantic
I was
Ocean
picturing
over there.
flying to the.
But also,
to San
the
Antonio,
Panama
but you're right,
Canal
with boats.
exists.
Yeah.
It's a key lane for shipping dinosaurs between oceans.
Well, it could have been.
Anyway, so the T-Rex is in the hold.
This is big.
Gets out of the hold, kills everybody, gets the ship stuck on full speed to crash into the dock. But then before it crashes into the dock, gets back into the hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. And I don't understand
They
how
don't
the fuck
even
the T-Rex
attempt.
did this.
They don't even
Especially
attempt to
because
explain
there's
it.
like the I don't know, captain's arms are like attached to the steering wheel or something, and they've
Yes.
been bitten off. But it's like inside
Yeah,
a small
yeah.
cabin.
Yeah.
How did the
Doesn't make
T-Rex
any
get in
sense.
there? It's huge. It doesn't
Maybe
make
it was
any
the
sense.
baby T-Rex that killed
No.
everybody.
Well, that's what I said, but the
That
baby
thing
T-Rex was taken
Oh,
separately.
that's true. Yeah.
It was flown in a separate
My
location.
headcanon is that it was actually a group of velociraptors that escaped.
Right.
And then they abandoned ship when they realized it was going to crash. And they're still out there. And that's going to be
and that's
Jurassic
how
Park
Godzilla
7.
was born.
Do you want to hear
yeah.
my headcanon? My headcanon, Vince Vaughn, I couldn't remember what happened to his character. I really like it. He lived, thankfully.
But he doesn't show up
He
again,
and his
right?
eco-terrorist friends actually attacked the boat
And
on the
Frank
Sea
the
Shepherd.
T-Rex?
Yeah, on the Sea Shepherd. They killed everybody and left
Brutally.
the T-Rex. Yeah, chopped them off to make it look like the T-Rex had done it so that they wouldn't get caught.
Yeah, I like that. That's a stupid tinfoil theory that I can get behind.
It was all Vince Vaughn.
That's that's like some Tyrion time traveling fetus tier tinfoil. I like it.
Anyway, and then so now you imagine that you're a police officer in San Diego and you're sitting there, and then a thing comes over your radio that's like, we have a T-Rex. You have to get down here to help us with this T-Rex problem. And then it cuts out and you're just like, what? I guess I'm going? And you think maybe it's just a Komodo dragon that got out of the zoo, and then it's a fucking T-Rex.
Yeah, that would be like, if we almost it comes through the radio and you're like, what are they on about now?
You're like, is this
What?
a prank? You're checking
Jeremy.
the date. Is it April 1st? It's not April 1st. What the fuck's going on? And then there's actually a T-Rex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but this is like a really fun, because this is something the franchise hadn't done at this point. Is like a dinosaur in a city is just fun. I love when it goes into the backyard and drinks the chlorinated pool water
But
and
it
eats
eats
the
the
dog.
dog. Why did they Eat the dog.
It also destroys a Blockbuster video. Very tragic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was only a matter of time.
Yeah, the dinosaur was ahead of its time. Yeah, like the bit with the kid, it is just funny because this kid's like, there's a dinosaur in the backyard, and then the parents start arguing about why he's having nightmares, and like you know where it's going. It's still funny. They see the dinosaur and they just completely shit their pants. It's great.
But yeah, so now T-Rex loose on the streets of San Diego, and this is like the King Kong moment of this movie. But there's no like military getting involved, which I thought was interesting.
Well, America's not that militarized.
True.
Well,
true.
when
That's
the
a good
police
point.
are that militarized, you don't need the military to come.
Yeah, we were actually saying that. We were like, if there was ever a time that you want this stupid American-style police force where they've all got like machine guns and shit, this is that time. Like this is the one incident that justifies
The police tank comes out for some reason. Yeah,
like police are so overly militarized, and it's like this is the one time that's for, and they didn't do it.
Hannah pointed out in the end where, so what's his face, Ludlow, is it? He goes, like, they've put the T-Rex baby back in the hold to try and lure the mum or dad, I don't remember which one it is, back in, and he goes looking for the baby T-Rex because for some reason he thinks that's how he's going to save InGen, which I wasn't clear on how. And so he follows it in there, and then there's this scene where the baby T-Rex gets its like first sort of kill. So the parent T-Rex like mangles his leg so that he can't really get away, and then the baby T-Rex is like, yeah, and like pounces on him and gets his first kill. And the whole time this horrible death is happening, they've got this really like uplifting music playing.
You're meant to be happy that he's getting eaten by the T-Rex.
Yeah, it's like such as like these movies are exactly about is like, oh, the dinosaurs, they're living their natural life and their triumph over the humans.
Well, and it's the mummy T-Rex teaching the baby T-Rex how to hunt too. Like she's very much like, here you go,
she's
sport.
Like,
here's your practice.
Get him.
Yeah.
Go on, get him. And he's like, ah!
Which is like the ending he deserves. It's like the practice for the baby. Especially because I definitely think there's meant to be some imagery there of him being like the younger generation from Hammond who usurped him or whatever. And then the T-Rex seeks the younger T-Rex to eat him.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny.
And then interestingly, it actually ends with them watching stuff on TV about the whole thing. Like our cute blended family. And then John Hammond comes on the TV and starts talking and saying how we've got to protect these dinosaurs. And I just thought it was a really weird way to end the movie. But it was kind of nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take a really environment. Like, you know, all of the goodies are the Greenpeace, PETA, like hippie people. Because it's very much... this is why I like it as a sequel, is this movie kind of takes the stance of, we have played God. These dinosaurs exist now. We need to just let them fucking be.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of like it from that thing. It's like, it ends on a news report, very direct thing of its message, which is just, we need to let nature do its own thing.
And I guess it's interesting because, like, right at the start of the film, we've got, you know, Ian Malcolm. They very quickly established, like, he's really grown and changed. Like, he's very different. And I think this was this moment where they kind of alluded to it at the start as well, but also Hammond's sort of a fucking idiot. But he's actually totally different as well. Like, he was so much about controlling the dinosaurs and that he could control everything. Yeah. And that these dinosaurs were to be enjoyed by people in the first film. And then you end the second film with him saying, like, these creatures just need to be left alone on the island. Like, we need to let them flourish and exist by themselves as they are. And that's kind of where he's come from the whole movie, even though he's a bit weird at the start. But it was, and that's how they ended the second film. And it was sort of, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's come full circle. And like again, InGen's been absolutely fucked by, like, what I love about this is the whole thing was that they were covering it up, and that just led to them getting greedy again. Then they let a dinosaur out and eat people in San Diego and cause a huge amount of damage. And it's just like, that's what you get. And then Hammond's back to be like the humbled person who learned their lesson because he's a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what a great sequel. Just like, we talked about that a lot with Shrek 2, I think it was, about how it was like a really, really good sequel. And I don't think this is quite that tier, but this is like, You can tell that this is based on the novel that was the sequel to the third, because it has just that level of like good sequelness to it.
Yeah, like actually building on the first one.
And like, we're not going to get that from this point on. So let's just appreciate it while we're here.
You know what I feel like was probably not in the book is the scene with the parents seeing the dinosaur in the backyard. I feel like that wasn't in the book.
It feels like a movie scene.
I think
great
was...
addition though. Oh yeah. Also, so Georgia did say last month that the kids from the first movie came back.
Yes,
and they were in
about
very briefly.
They were 30. They were in 30 seconds of this one, so I guess she was right.
Technically correct.
That's what I didn't say. They were like main characters. I said that was really brief. I
didn't remember that at all.
I made a lot of
pointless.
I mentioned a lot of things last episode that came true.
Yeah, you're on a roll. But yeah, it did. Wait, I don't get what they got out of having the kids in that scene.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So my prediction for the next film, Reuben's going to hate it.
We'll see.
I don't know. It has been a while since I watched it. I'm keen to say I think it's going to be one of those films that plays very differently when you try to turn a slightly more critical eye to it. But nostalgia goggles are going to be on in full force on my end next month.
Sam Neill's in it. That's always good.
That's good. The one thing that's been ringing in my head since we started doing this is that Colin Trevorrow quote of like, they never should have made any sequels to Jurassic Park, 3 of which he directed.
Yes.
Yeah. He's had his own fucking John Hammond arc. Like he made the dinosaur movies, and then he's like, guys, never
stopped to consider
we should have let the dinosaur movies be their own thing in the wild. We shouldn't keep playing.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess next month, Jurassic Park 3, Dino's Revenge. What's this called? I put that in there as a placeholder, but no,
it is just called Jurassic Park 3. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there is a subtitle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not a 3 though. It's like a Roman numeral 3.
Well, it's a scratch mark.
But they're Velociraptor scratches.
No, it's the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, whatever.
When Jurassic World came out for a bit, I was like, that's kind of annoying that they have started a different title theme instead of just continuing the original titling theme of the original movies.
But now you're realizing
it's very thematically appropriate. Every movie has to break convention of how they do sequel titles.
But no, honestly, Jurassic Park 3 not even bothering to give itself a subtitle does actually suit the film. I will admit.
Dino's Revenge isn't bad.
Yeah, let's call it that from now on. We'll give it a fan name. Anyway.
I'm gonna try and come up with a subtitle for it for next month. That's my mission that I'm setting myself. I want to nail a title for the third film.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, folks, and thanks for being patrons. If you are patrons, if you're not patrons, hey, you can listen to us talk about all the Jurassic Park movies right now if you become a patron, because the non-Patreon feed is 6 months delayed, so there's 6 whole new episodes of Jurassic Park discussion / other discussions to catch up on.
Elliot's just started his research into this subtitle, and he's gone to Wikipedia page for Jurassic Park 3, and then quickly he is now on the arcade game.
There was an arcade game for Jurassic Park 3.
Let's put it in the notes for next month, Elliot. We'll get to it.
It's not going to be worth talking about. Anyway, so do we do our outro now?
Yep. So go to patreon.com/doofmedia.
You already did that part. That's why episodes. I was Googling, because you had it handled.
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway.
Bye, listeners.
And get out of our swamp. And also no harm came from reading a book. Oh.
I just
Reuben,
like listening to you
vanished again.
Yeah, Reuben, you got to stop Bailey.
Do it.